Welcome to the Smart Marketers Academy, where we help you to build your business smart, get more clients, and make more profits. I'm Davida Yemi Akanle. I'm the founder and CEO of the Smart Marketers Academy. And on this program, we're looking at how to clarify who your ideal client is. And this is module 2. So we're looking at how to spot your ideal client. Now, clarity is power. The clearer you are about things in life, the better it is. Clarity also has to do with speed. So if you want to build your business fast or much faster than you currently build it, then you need to go for clarity. The clearer your target is, the easier it is for you to reach it. So if you're unclear about who your ideal client is, you will not be able to attract them. But if you are clear about who they are, then your business will be like a magnet that attracts them. Now, the next thing I'd like to talk about is focus. When you define your ideal client, you're defining your focus. Focus is so important in life and in business. To be able to achieve anything, you need not violate that principle of focus. So by defining your focus, you define who you notice and who you do not notice in the marketplace. Now, just an example, it's only when you start thinking of burgers you begin to see burger places all around the place. Prior to that, you may be blind to that in your environment. Or when you start thinking of buying a new car, you begin to see that type of car, you begin to spot it. That's because your mind is now in tune and your mind is now looking for that particular thing. So once you decide on who your ideal client is, it's going to be easy for you to spot them. Even if you're in a crowd of 100 people, you'll be able to spot who your ideal client is quite easily. So having this type of focus is going to help you grow your business, because you're not going to be wasting time chasing after the wrong people or trying to push products on people who don't really want it. That's not what you really want to do. You want people who you can spot that, yes, this is a person who wants what I have to offer, or people who come to you, and when they come to you, you know that, okay, this is a person that I'm ready to serve. So what do you want? You need to decide what you want. In life, you can't just let life happen to you. In business, it's the same thing. You can't just let business happen. You need to be intentional. To get the results that you want, you need to be intentional. So choosing your ideal client is like setting a goal that this is the kind of person who I want to reach, this is the kind of person I want to serve, and this is where they're gathered, and this is how many of them I'd like to serve with my business. So what do you want? Because if you don't know what you want, how would you get it? Imagine going to a store. If you don't know what you've gone to the store for, you probably either would come out empty-handed or you'll come out with everything. So if you know what you want, you'll go straight to maybe the aisle where you'd find it. So knowing what you want helps you locate what you are after. So, and if it could work the other way around, because once you know the type of client you've decided to serve, like I said, your business, you begin to create a business that appeals to that type of person. So if you do not know what you want, there's no way of getting it, or even if you get it, it will be a struggle. So one thing we want to do for you is to take the struggle out of building your business. So knowing what you want is the quickest way of getting it. So make sure you make that decision. So precision, you need to define your ideal client with precision. It's so important you do this at the start of your business. Otherwise, you'll end up wasting a lot of your precious time. You'll be going from network meeting to network meeting. You won't know if the people you're contacting are the right people. You won't be clear. You will just be confused. When there's confusion within, there's also confusion without. So But you've seen people in life, especially maybe when you were in school, they knew what they wanted. So from a very young age, they knew what they wanted. And when you see them maybe 5, 10 years or 15 years or 20 years after they've graduated from school, you see that they're still that focused. They have what they decided even far back then, and they've built a life, a steady life of progress. Now, this is a point in your life that you cannot afford to be fuzzy. You cannot afford. You want to build something solid, you want to build something strong, and you can build it quickly, but you need to be precise. So you need to define your ideal client with precision, because it's the only way of attracting them. So who is your ideal client? You must be able to answer this question before you open shop. And if you've opened shop, it's time to get back to the drawing table and make that decision. So identifying your ideal clients helps you to establish the right filters. I've just mentioned that. It begins to determine what you see in the marketplace and what you don't see. It positions your business. You know, you are, once you have your ideal client, you're positioning your business to serve a particular type of client in the marketplace. You can locate your clients and you can maximize profits. So the ball is in your court. You make a decision. Don't just let clients choose you. I mean, anybody might choose to work with you, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if you can predetermine, if you can pre-program what you want to happen in your life or in your business, then that's a better and a stronger position to be in. So let's look at the sum of the scenarios that I'm going to be presenting with us on to us here. So the first one is a high maintenance and low profit client. I mean, if you've been in business for any amount of time, you probably would have come across such. They're high maintenance. It's so difficult to work with them, and then it's not as profitable. What you work, you put so much in, but you get very little out. You know, is that the type of client you want to work with? So you need to decide. Another type of client is low maintenance and low profit. So it's easy to work with them, but then it's not very profitable. So, you know, that's another scenario that you need to think about. Are the clients that you're working with currently low maintenance, low profit? Or are they high maintenance, low profit? You know, even it's even better to work with low maintenance, low profit clients, because at least you have peace. You have a peace of mind. Now, the next one we want to look at is high maintenance and high profit clients. Now, this is another type of clients. Yes, they're going to pay you well, but you have to work hard for it. You'd work through your nose. You know, they probably keep you on. They will try to keep you on call 24/7. You know, so is this the type of client you want? Is this the type of business you want? Yes, it might be a good idea to work with these types of clients if you can. And if you can do it for short spurts of time, but you need to decide, you need to look at your life, you need to see if you can prioritize your business around these type of clients. They will demand a lot from you, and then they'll pay you. So, and what that does is also it develops you. You're able to develop skills that you probably wouldn't have. Maybe you develop your self in so many ways that you wouldn't have had the opportunity to do. So it's up to you. You need to decide. The ball is in your court. Now, there's this fourth category of clients, and this is low maintenance and high profit clients. So they're easy to work with, they're easy to satisfy, but they're profitable clients. You can work with them. It's profitable working with them. Now, these are my type of ideal clients. You know, if you're going to build a business, if you're going to build your business with profits factored in from ground up, these are the type of clients that you should be looking at working with. So marketing is about finding and romancing your ideal client. It's about finding the ideal match for you. So in thinking about how to spot your ideal client, you need to know who they are, who they are not. So it's one thing to know who they are, but you need to also know who they are not. And that makes things much, much clearer. Like we said, you need clarity. To get this process going, clarity is so important. So you need those two things. You need to know who they are and who they are not. We've had, my husband and I, we've had such difficult times with with problematic clients in different in our different businesses. And what we realize is that in the long run, prevention is better than cure. It's not just about money. Peace of mind is so important. You want peace of mind. You can't put a price on that. So prevention is better than cure. So you need to do what you need to do in order to make sure that you're working with the right people. So the wrong client is frustration, problems, stress, sleepless nights. Simply put, they are unprofitable. So you want to avoid them. I mean, even if it was just frustration, problem, stress, sleepless nights, and they were profitable, well, maybe there's a benefit in that. But when it's unprofitable, what benefit is in that? You can avoid those types of clients and position yourself to work with better clients. It will do a lot for your self-worth, and it will do a lot for your credibility in the marketplace as well, because all these other clients, they're not going to be satisfied. They'll talk the new message will go around about how they felt. They're the kind of clients who will talk and talk, so you can spare yourself the trouble. So the right type of client will bring mutual benefits to the table. You both be benefited from that relationship. You're both giving value to one another. You're giving them value. You're helping them achieve their goals. You're helping to move them in the right direction. And they're rewarding you. They're compensating you financially for the effort that you're putting in. You experience peace. You're fulfilled. There are profits attached to working with them. So I would say these are the type of clients that you would go for. Now, an example of my high maintenance client is you need to be able to write a statement like this. An example of my high maintenance client is you need to think of a person that might come to mind. In order to be able to know who they are, who the best type of clients to work with are, and who they're not, think about someone who you've had a troublesome relationship with. I know I have a few that come to mind. I wouldn't want to go anywhere near those people with a barge pole. Not that I hate them, I still love them, but it wasn't just good business, and it wasn't a pleasant experience, and I don't have to put myself through such because I just want to do business. So high maintenance clients, they breach contracts. They breach the contract, they forget to pay, they refuse to pay. Even forgetting to pay is much better than those who refuse to pay. Sometimes when a person refuses to pay, then what you have to do, what I do is I just let it go. I give it to them as a gift because I need peace, and in most cases, if you're building your business the smart marketer's way, you need to make sure that your clients pay you up front. You need to be able to have the money in before you actually provide the services, if you're thinking of providing services. The high maintenance clients will keep on changing the goalposts. So you need to have good boundaries in place if you're going to work with people. You need to have contracts, you need to have agreements. If you are selling a package, you need to have the benefits or the outcomes listed and everything in detail, so that people do not come and keep on changing the goalpost and keep you on a treadmill of ever delivering a product or a service that never completely gets delivered. Such people quibble about prices. So one way that I spot high maintenance clients is, as soon as I talk about price, even if it's not too expensive, they start quibbling about prices. They start trying to beat my prices down, and immediately I know that I don't want to attract price sensitive clients. I'd rather not do with that. I'd appreciate working with people who value what I bring to the table and who understand what help the what help my skills and expertise can do bring to them and their businesses. They're increasingly demanding. They nitpick. They're negative. The relationship is more of a boss. They try to boss you around, instead of seeing you as an equal partner doing business together. They could be abusive. Um, they they generally have unrealistic demands and expectations. They some of them might be naive. Let's say that might be the case for a few people. They might be naive. They might not know what is going on in the market, but it's an indication that it's the wrong client. You might have targeted your markets, your services at a different market at a higher end, and then somebody at the lower end who wants that same service approaches you thinking it's for them. So in some cases, when you have that kind of a conflict where they're wanting to beat down the prices, they're asking for things which are unrealistic, it's possible that they are not within the band of people that you're trying to target. Some of them insist on working outside your procedures. For instance, if you say, okay, if you want my services, go to my website and pay, but this person would insist on sending you a check or sending it to your bank account directly. There's nothing wrong with that if that's generally okay. But if you have someone who's persistently not wanting to follow your procedures and wanting you to bend to them, how many people are you going to have to bend to? Now, sometimes it's good to be flexible when you're in business, but you need to when you see these clues, you work out, okay, is this person going to be a high maintenance client, or is it just that they just want some flexibility? You don't have to throw everything out. You can examine the evidence and then be discerning and then decide to work with them if that's okay. But generally what I found is that people who want to work outside my procedures, as soon as even if I continue to court them till we get to a point maybe where when we're ready to do business, what I find is that it becomes problematic. So they do not respect your system, they do not respect your time, they do not turn up when they say they would, they do not appreciate the value that you bring to the picture. So some people, they just don't have a genuine appreciation of what you're offering. They might not be that well into what you offer, or into that market niche that you work in. So sometimes they don't know the actual value that you are offering them, so they try to beat your prices down, they try to do such other things. So you need to be aware that this might not be the right person, because in order to get them to work with you, you really have to educate them and bring them up a notch. I mean, an easy way to educate people is by asking them to join your mailing list, and what you can do is subtly drip information on them, educating them and helping them to become a more ideal client. So people who are not ideal clients, you find it difficult to have a professional business relationship with them. Now, you don't have to be so formal when you're dealing with people, but there's some elements where some people know what the requirements of a professional business relationship is. So they would work within certain parameters, but other people just haven't got a clue. So you need to be very, very careful about this. You need to be able to spot this as people come to want to work with you. So avoid the wrong type of clients. Refuse to court non-ideal clients. Non-ideal clients equals unprofitable business. I can't say that any better. So if you have unprofitable clients, you need to fire them. So when a client becomes a liability rather than an asset that they're supposed to be, it is time to part ways. You need to fire them before you get fired from your own business. So now let's have a quick look at what an example of your ideal client might be. So you need to think of someone who you've done business with, or maybe it's a friend. If you're just starting out in business, you might need to think of a friend who you see as an ideal client. You know, like I said, when we're talking about ideal client, it's easier to talk about it when you have a person who represents your ideal client in mind. It makes the abstract more concrete, and it makes it easier for you to know the type of person that you're looking for. So you need to work out what made this person ideal, or what makes this person ideal. You know, in most cases you're on the same page. That means you don't have to explain much to them. They know what you're talking about. You're easily, I mean, there's certain communication that you need to get across, but generally you don't have to do so much to be able to get them to understand where you're at. I find that a lot with the people that are an ideal match for myself. Your ideal client, ideally there will be people who understand your respective roles and responsibilities. Now, some people blur those roles, and that's because maybe they haven't worked in a professional relationship, business relationship before. So it's important that people who you're working with understand the boundaries of your roles. They know what you offer. They know what to expect from you. They know what their responsibilities are. Yes, so these people are happy to work with professional boundaries because they're happy to work within professional boundaries because they understand that these boundaries are there to protect them as well as much as they're there to protect you. So they're just happy to work within them, and they know that these boundaries are what keep your relationship healthy with them. They understand and they're appreciative of the results that you are trying to achieve. So they see it as a joint thing, that you're both in it trying to achieve a result, and they appreciate what you're trying to do. And in most cases, even if things go wrong, they have an understanding that, well, those things do happen. Even though you're still working to deliver the solution, they know that things do go wrong sometimes, because that's life. But they understand that, yes, even if it goes wrong, you'll be doing your best to put it right. In my case, a lot of the people who are my ideal clients are high achievers. They want more for their lives. They're ready to invest in themselves. They're ready to invest in their business. They don't see they don't think of things in terms of cost, even if things are even a bit more expensive than they would expect it to be because of maybe where they're at. In most cases, they see the value of investing, and they look for ways to cut back on other things so that they can make the investments that they need to move themselves and their businesses forward. They take responsibility for their learning and results, and they're, like I said, they're investors in their personal, professional, and business growth. So we've come to the end of module 2 of this program. If you'd like to know more about our other programs and services, please visit us at www.thesmartmarketersacademy.com, and I'll see you on our third and final module.